Hey, and welcome to MJ Physio's personal training session. My name is Sam Noster. Today we're going to be focusing on core stability. Now, my background as a personal trainer, strength and conditioning coach. We see a lot of people going too far in advance for their core strength stuff. So today what we're going to be focusing on is going back to the foundations of what the core is supposed to do in the body. Now, the main function for the core is to stabilize the spine, okay? So generally what people do when they first go to the gym and start doing core exercises, generally they move their spine, okay, which is what we want to do eventually, but not to start with. So the exercises we're going to focus on today are going to be about control and stabilization. So back in the gym, guys, we're going to be discussing the crunch, okay? Now, a lot of you might think the classic crunch exercise is a lot of this moving, how you see probably majority of people doing it, and what most people think is a simple sit-up. We're not going to do that. The reason why we're not going to do that is because we are creating movement of the spine. With these core stability exercises, going forward, we're going to think about creating tension and stability through the body and preventing movement of the spine, okay? So we're going to do a slightly modified curl up or crunch today to start with, and to get you guys to understand what it feels like to create tension through our core, to help stabilize and use our core muscles to strengthen, to essentially support our torso and our spine itself, okay? Now, if we look at my spinal position now, this is a generally neutral position, okay? Some might have extension of the back, which creates a lot of pressure through the back, especially lower back, creating pain for a lot of people. We're just going to make sure we have a neutral spine, okay? From this position, what we're going to do is let's have a look at a crunch. So if we crunch up, notice how much spinal movement is happening in my crunch. Yes, I'm getting activation to my front of my core, but I'm moving the spine. So if you have back problems, that's the first no-no. Let's look at this modified curl up. So what you're going to do, one leg out, one knee up, one hand under your back. Now this hand, you could even use two hands. I'm going to have one hand on my back, one hand on my torso. These are going to be pressure sensors, okay? So with these pressure sensors, you're just going to feel the tension through the body and understand what it's like to change, or hopefully not change, the tension as you created or started with, okay? So first things first, this is just sit up position. What you're going to do now is brace through your core really hard, create tension. I'm feeling my core turn on. I'm noticing that my core from my pressure sensors are a little bit more engaged, but there's no movement there. I'm just feeling them turn on. From this position, I'm going to lift my head, shoulders, and chest off the mat an inch, only an inch, and I can feel my core really fired up now. You're going to hold for 10 seconds, 2, 1, rest, and repeat. Notice how my head, chest, shoulders, everything has come up as a whole. I'm activating my core through this position, and now I'm relaxing. What I don't want to see as you guys do this is curling up from your neck like this. You're getting movement through the neck there. It's going to create neck pain. So to make sure that to create this part of your core to turn on and understand stability from this point of view, that we're lifting up as a whole, and you can see me now, I'm shaking because I've created that stability in my deep core, and it's working to stabilize the spine. Let's look at some progressions. So the first progression we're going to do today is have our feet slightly off the floor, okay? Now, one thing I want you to think about when you are doing this is your breath. So funny enough, your breath or your core are secondary breathing muscles, okay? So when you exhale, hence why a lot of yoga instructors and people in the fitness industry really focus on the exhale, is because it creates tension through the core, okay? Because they're the muscles we use to breathe. So what we're going to do, we're going to get back in that original position. One hand on your back, one hand on your core is perfectly fine. What's going to happen, you're going to lift your feet off just a centimetre off the floor, not up through here, but just a centimetre, even a millimetre if you can. Think of a paper slice, the tiniest amount. What's going to happen from here, you're going to breathe out. As you breathe out, you're going to do the same thing with your body. After a full exhale, you're going to come back down and repeat. You can rest by putting your feet on the ground if you like, but when you're on, let's go again. So feet slightly up, and exhale and lift. You can probably see myself shaking in that. That's how much tension I'm putting through my body during that movement, okay? So very subtle, but those kind of holds are fantastic for stability. The next progression from that is simply, as we exhale, letting a leg straighten. Okay, so let's have a quick demo of that. Feet off the ground just a smidge. Reset. Alternate. And the biggest emphasis here, team, is that we are trying not to move the spine. So your pressure centers below, especially under your back, and even your core. If you're feeling movement of some description, we can do it better. So focus on stabilizing this proximity of your body, lengthening whatever it might be, leg, sometimes we can use our arms, which is for another video, but understanding that this foundation of keeping still is super important to core strength and essentially torso and back health. Thanks for watching the video. Good luck with those curl ups. Create that tension through the torso. Subscribe to the channel and I'll see you again soon.